But I guess
This Elden Ring game sure is hard. If only there was another medium I could enjoy the story in. Wait. Another medium that isn't video games. What would that look like? A video game you don't play, some sort of multimedia, sound and moving image format. Oh man. I've got a dreadful feeling I've forgotten about something. Oh no. That's it! My Judge Dredd Blu-ray! Got lost in the mail!
Defense noted.
Hello everybody, welcome back to the Movie Diary. It's been a while, hasn't it? Lots of movies. That is our topic of discussion today. Lots of movies. The question is though, enough movies? I don't know if you remember, but the goal of the start of the year was to reach 200 movies. This is now a halftime report, and we'll find out whether or not I've seen the right amount of movies to be on track. I did take some notes for today's episode because it has been a while. I would like to start by talking about some awesome movies I've been seeing. I've been seeing a lot of movies this year, guys. I only got up to January, so there's been 5 months of movies, and boy howdy have I seen a lot of movies in that time. I've got a few I'd like to spotlight here. So yeah, we've got some awesome little flicks. I won't get into too many right now because we'll be talking about them later, but I did watch Takeshi Kitano's Hanabi. Oh wow, what a film. See, well, this is what this whole episode's gonna be. It's just gonna be saying what a film, and then not being able to go into it because it's been like a month since I watched Hanabi, or maybe even 2 months. But Hanabi was like a really touching film for me in its ability to resort to violence in a very human way. You know, a point of tears almost, but the tears being violence, that fighting the urge to hurt others and fighting that urge to feel pain, and in that feeling pain, inflicting pain onto others, in which they explode gloriously with spurts of blood. You know, sort of everyone's walking around like a big balloon full of blood that's just waiting to explode. That's sort of what Hanabi teaches us, and even in these sentimental moments, it's just tension on the surface being relieved, but all that internal pressure of the blood, the water that's in you, is just waiting to burst out. Really interesting flick. Another good one I saw was I Like Movies. This was recommended to me by a friend. I Like Movies is it hit really close to home. Far too close to home than I liked. It's about some loser narcissist kid who likes movies, and he's pushing everyone else around him away. Real great stuff. Really hit the nail on the head there. I forgot who the director was. I'll put her name up on screen now. Isn't that funny? I forget the woman director's name. My bad. I really liked I Like Movies. I will just say though, like, he's a shitty kid, but he's still a kid. The adult in this movie, the woman that's his manager, she really goes off on him, and I don't think you should be speaking to a child that way. He's like 17. I mean, yeah, he's 17, he knows better, but like, come on. She's like calling him a narcissist, yelling at him. Really, really not appropriate. But then again, what he did wasn't very appropriate either. But just a really nice movie. Something I will get into, and it was a Canadian film. I'll get into another Canadian film that I really, really enjoyed in my viewing so far in the year. I do want to give like a little bit of a shout out to my amazing 3-star movie crew. maybe not even 3 stars, maybe like 2.5 stars. Now, in these movie diaries, I don't like to rate. I do all my rating on Letterboxd. But what I really enjoy about the 3 star and a heart is you get some incredible films that are just immensely fun, and you feel happy, you feel lighter after watching. The first one I want to really highlight is a film called Phone Booth with Colin Farrell. Man, what a fun time! It's like My Dinner with Andre, except about two erudite, theater people, and the intellectual and the artist, the intellectual artist and the working man artist having this conversation about the nature of art and society. It's about Colin Farrell and a guy in a phone booth having discussions about honesty and flaws and sincerity. And he's going to shoot him in the phone booth, and it's awesome. Some really wild swings with the filmmaking in Phone Booth as well. I watched it thinking it would just be like, I'd seen clips of it and I thought, okay, I've got to watch this movie. But there's some really massive swings, like the opening. You see a satellite, and then you go to the inside of someone's phone, and then you come out of the phone, and then you're in the street in Manhattan, and all of that happens in like, and then the final shot of the movie is you go back into the phone, back into the satellite, and then off into space, never to return. I think, much like the radio signals that we emit every day. I hope the aliens can see this and they find it fun. But that's a really good one. Another cool one I watched was Deerskin. Deerskin was a awesome little 3 stars and a heart. It's just a movie about a guy that has a rough divorce, and he buys a jacket that's made out of deerskin, and then he starts and has these like power fantasies about the jacket, and he doesn't want anyone else to wear jackets, so he has to convince everyone to take his jackets off through film. It's a really ridiculous plot that sort of twists and turns, and it's all very fun. It's really enjoyable film. So I would, if my 2 3-star and a heart recommendations are Phone Booth and Deerskin. Those are a cracker of a time. You'll feel light. You'll feel like you've just had a very enjoyable hour and a half, and you can go on with your day and sort of just remember them as a fond recollection, but nothing more than that. So I had to go through all of my movies, and it was funny because I was trying to look at all these movies I'd seen, and I didn't know how to classify them. Like, I didn't know how to sort of talk about them. So I was trying to think of different classification systems I could use to describe the movies I've seen this year. And the one that I decided to go with, it's very schoolyard, it's very juvenile, but is this movie cute, beautiful, or sexy? So I've got some movies here that fit into those categories. I've got my Phone Booth, my I Like Movies, my Deerskin in the cute category. Some other cute movies I saw One Cut of the Dead. Highly recommend One Cut of the Dead. And Game Night. Fun little flick. Millennial, a little nugget of millennial goodness, like a starburst, a millennial starburst film. You just put it in, you go, ooh, man, I love board games, playing board games with my adult friends. That's what like really gets me going. Oh, I love board games with my adult friends. And Jesse Plemons is in it, and it's funny. I was looking through the Letterboxd reviews on Game Night, and when the Game Night came out, people weren't putting respect on Jesse Plemons' name. They were calling him like Philip Seymour Fatman, I think, or Philip Seymour Hoffat or something. They were calling him like Fat Matt Damon, Fat Philip Seymour Hoffman. Oh, I mean, I guess Philip Seymour Hoffman was kind of fat anyway, but they were putting disrespect on my boy Jesse's name, and I couldn't. It was funny how far the dialogue has shifted, and I was never anti-Plemons. I always loved Plemons. I will continue to love Plemons, even if he has gotten skinny. I will keep rocking the Plemons. I love him. I think he's one of the greatest actors of our generation. The generation above me, but one of the greatest actors of our time, and he's only going to keep getting better with age. I loved him in every project I've seen him in. No duds, and Game Night is no exception. He absolutely murders that role. Such a small little role. It's not tiny, but it's a small role, and an otherwise, you know what? Game Night is a three stars and a heart movie as well. Fun and enjoyable, and goes down smooth. A little starburst. 3 star and a heart movies are like little pieces of lolly. I almost said candy there. I'm not doing an Americanism. Just little lollies that you can kind of grab out, put it in your mouth. In grandma's pantry, you sneak in. You go, ooh, I'll have a little bit of phone booth, and you just kind of grab a phone booth and you eat it, but you're still in the cupboard, so it's in the dark, and you just eat in the phone booth. And then at the end you go, that was good. I enjoyed that. And then you leave the cupboard, and then you don't let grandma know that you're eating the lollies in the cupboard. Those are the cute movies. There's another cute movie that I will be talking about later, so I'll just mention it briefly. The Happiness of the Katakuris. That's a very cute movie. All right, now we're going on to Beautiful. These are the movies that something about them, works of art, grandeur. This is like a very emotional ranking. I'm not talking about the qualities of the film, even though these films are beautiful. But when I start talking about the sexy films, it's all gonna fall apart. So keep in mind that we are starting to get a bit more metaphorical here. In my beautiful category, I've got films I've seen this in the year I've been away from you guys. I've seen The Great Dictator. That's a beautiful film. Hannah or Fireworks as before. Citizen Kane. I finally watched Citizen Kane. What took me so long? I hope you appreciated the Orson Welles joke at the beginning. Yeah. And A Matter of Life and Death. That was the Prescott, Pressburger and Prescott, whatever their names are. That was an incredible movie. Really opened my eyes to that era, the golden era. I'm excited to explore a bit more of that going forward. And I also saw a film called Matt and Mara, which I will go into depth about later. And now my sexy films, I'm just gonna say these, and you see if we're feeling the same way. I've got Benny's Video, Inland Empire, The Cameraman, the Buster Keaton film, Pinocchio 964, and Pacifiction. Pacifiction's really good. I'll be talking about Pacifiction later, but through another through another lens. I did want to mention I saw a couple movies this year that I couldn't rank on Letterboxd. And I think ranking is I mainly just do the rankings for me, or solely for me, just so people can get a gauge of what I think. I'm not trying to push my great illuminatory taste forward like the Statue of Liberty. I'm not holding it out to guide the way. I'm not a lighthouse of culture, a paragon of taste. But there are some movies that I feel like I can't even comment on. And giving it a score seems reductive to the point where it's not even worth it. So I usually just give it a heart and leave it, because I can't even begin to formulate an idea about the film. So I've got 3 films that fall into that category. They all of these films, they're sort of you can't think about them. They're epics in their own way. They also all made me sad after watching, some more than others. Those 3 films were Inland Empire by Lynch, Showgirls by Paul Verhoeven, and I'm not sure who the director is for this one, but it's You Don't Mess with the Zohan, the Adam Sandler flick. Those movies, they all fit in the same category for me of sort of unassailable. So I'll keep working on those as I go along. And just a quick shout out to my 2026 watches, new movies that have come out. My favorite of them all is The Drama so far. So let's see about the movies coming out in the latter half of the year, which is going to be most of them. But The Drama, I enjoyed thoroughly. I thought it was very good. I like Robert Pattinson, and there's all that weird stuff about the director that came out right after the film. But I just we'll just keep it pushing. We'll just keep it moving forward. We won't give it too much time. Project Hail Mary was just alright, and I liked Wuthering Heights. I liked the soundtrack, and the rest of it was harmless enough. That was like a three. Yeah, you know what? That's just a fucking straight down the middle, clean hit, home run. You know, it does it. It's not. It's nothing more than that. It's nothing gonna be more than just a. If you get what I'm saying. All right. Now this is the main event. I've got my top 5 films I've seen in the past 5 months. It was funny putting these together because I haven't actually ranked like my viewing list. Like films that I've seen, in the past month, and ranking like films, because sometimes I'll rank like the movies that have been coming out this. That's what I did last year, and I'm doing it again this year of like new releases. Just so I can get a gauge of what I like. This is funny because it's got retro, like old films in there as well. So you're mixing the old films with the new films. Well, none of the new films come even close to the top of this list, by the way. But that's not an indictment of the films that are coming out. I liked The Moment as well. I like The Moment, and I like the drama. So we're just gonna keep it pushing with the old stuff because that's where all the good movies are. So I want to give the honorable mentions of movies I've seen in the past 5 months that blew me away. We're gonna go. I'm just gonna mention these very quickly. Not talk about them too much. Benny's Video, another Haneke film. Loved it. Of course, I love all the Haneke films. An awesome like predecessor to Funny Games. It's funny. He makes his White Ribbon movies, which is like White Ribbon. What's the one he did? The Kafka one. I'm not sure. Oh, The Castle. Yeah, so it's like his White Ribbon movies are like The White Ribbon, Time of the Wolf, The Castle. And then he has his like 72 Fragments of a Chronology of Chance movies, which are like Code Unknown, Cache, 72 Fragments. And then he has his like Benny's Video movies, which are like Seventh Continent, Benny's Video, Funny Games. Funny Games more so than others. And there are some that like kind of break the mold. But even the ones that break the mold sort of like fit in their own way. Like Seventh Continent could like link to a more. Piano Teacher is definitely the most isolated film in Mikhail Haneke's filmography. Seemingly intentionally because there's a thing about the Haneke films. They're all the characters are named Arn and Jorg. But in like Isabelle Huppert's role in Piano Teacher, her name's Erica, and it's like based on a book. So that's like really isolated from the other Haneke canon. Benny's Video fits right in though. Good stuff. Really chilling watch. Those long cold takes. It's enough to freeze your blood. So then we got The Great Dictator, Charlie Chaplin. Got to see this one in 35mm. I saw this with another film that I'll mention a little bit later in the list. Number 3 on my list. But yeah, 35mm. Great film. Really sad movie. Such like a sad prelude because when he made it, I think during the production, the invasion of Poland was happening. Or had just happened, so World War II hadn't really kicked off yet. And there is that point about how like people used to make fun of Hitler, and then he like he won. He won in Germany, and then he started moving up, and it was like it got really real really quickly. So just be careful because sometimes the jokes and the jabs, it doesn't stop someone from becoming a real nuisance. I'm putting my legs up. Why not? Now I've got Dancer in the Dark, Lars von Trier. Yeah, this really moved me. I didn't know it was a musical going in. So I knew Björk was in it. But then she started singing, and that took me back. Yeah, that, I love that. And then it got really good, and then it got really sad. And I might have cried a little bit in Dancer in the Dark. Hanabi, I mentioned that before. Really great movie. The more I think about Hanabi, the more I like it. In the moment, I sort of left it, and I had a weird feeling. and now every time it's aging finer and finer every time I recall it. So I'm gonna watch this space for Hanabi because it could shoot all the way up to like one of my favorites of all time. And then finally, Gil Scott Heron documentary Black Wax, really awesome movie. You're just hanging out with Gil Scott Heron. He's doing his poetry. He's talking, and then it cuts to a song, and then it's back, and he's just walking around and talking. Really like a chill movie. All right, now we're gonna go to our top five. My top five. So I did this in reverse order. I did it from I went from the top and then like worked down. I removed certain films from like the actual top five ranking, um, just so it'd be like a bit more interesting of a list. But I will explain what didn't make the cut and what did. So this is in order. So this number five film is actually the number eighth film I've watched. Sorry, I worded that all weird. But I just like had to remove a bunch at the top end because I removed films that I had like already seen before the 5 months, and I removed one movie because it was I removed Citizen Kane because it was too obvious. I can't like put Citizen Kane on my top five list because it's going to be at the top five of every list. So I just thought I'd just get rid of it. Citizen Kane is that good, by the way. I see you motherfuckers pretend being contrarian on Citizen Kane. That's ridiculous. I just realized I'm sitting in front of a lamp again. I always do this. I don't know what's wrong with me. I always like to sit in front of light sources, and it fucks up the aperture of the camera. And I probably look like all fucked up. I've probably looked all fucked up the whole time. But I keep forgetting that you can't sit in front of light sources, and I always do that. So hopefully this is the last time I sit in front of a light source. Yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. No, Citizen Kane is that good. Speaking of light sources, fuck that. It's a beautiful movie, and anyone that says otherwise is wrong. And they need to take all these takes. They should maybe take a shower and, actually try and do something that isn't sit online all day talking about, discussing films. Because, like, I do this, and then I go out, I go out, but I don't actually do anything when I'm out. I enjoy nature, and isn't that the bare minimum? Just enjoying nature constantly, nothing really else going on. All right. Anyway, we'll start off with number 5, which is The Happiness of the Katakuris. This is another musical, so the Dancer in the Dark almost made it up there, but now we've got our musical representation, the Takashi Miike horror musical. Now, I don't want to like discredit Miike here, because he is an incredible filmmaker, and he's made some of my favorite movies of all time. See Dead or Alive, Visitor Q. I mean, Terraformers. For that's another three. That's another like. Terraformers would be crown jewel. Like that's an awesome fucking movie. But yeah, no. With The Happiness of the Katakuris, there's an element of his work of like sort of this spontaneous brilliance in the fact that he has to work so quickly because he makes like 4 movies a year. So I don't imagine he gets very long to, really develop these ideas much more than like a day on set. Like a musical number will be blocked out and then it'll just be like performed as like quick as possible, just as not to waste any time because he's a very busy man. And in the sense that I think everything goes perfectly all the time for him because he is such a professional. However, in that's why he has some duds, is because it didn't go right in the moment, and that's what sort of it really hinders the movie because you're gonna get one. I mean, he probably gets more than one shot, but like that's the ethos is that we do it quick, we do it good, and sometimes they don't do it good. Like I've actually yet to see a Miike movie I didn't like. Oh yeah, Yakuza Apocalypse. Yakuza Apocalypse didn't really land for me, but yeah, this one really works, and you can kind of feel that spontaneity. It's like a mini DV film. A lot of these awesome sequences of like claymation and animation. The dance numbers are great. My favorite one is the one with the ship captain, and he's confessing his love to the daughter, and that is an amazing sequence. The incredible. I love it. I love Mike. Love musicals. We're gonna put that at number 5. Now number 4. This is a controversial pick. This is a like a mumblecore like Toronto movie. A little bit higher budget than the other Toronto mumblecore movies, but this movie is about people walking and talking. They walk and they talk, and then they keep doing that, and that's the entire film. And it's called Matt and Mara as my number 4. I fucking love Matt and Mara. For no reason in particular. This is just a movie that spoke to me so deeply, and it hit me right to my core, and I can't help but just scream from the rooftops how much I love Matt and Mara. It is like liberal arts bullshit, minutiae of conversation. It is about like class. Not even about class, but it's about like the professional class and being a professional and holding that in yourself and like not wanting to let that go. Even Matt, who's like a wild, he's a wild guy, played by Matt Johnson. Love Matt Johnson. He's like this wild guy. He can't like let go at all. He's not like wild in that sense. He's like a cowboy rider, so he's like zany, but he is cunning and he's a professional. And it's all these professionals talking to other professionals. And this little world, and they're all going crazy, and any sort of thing that happens to them has to happen through all these layers of professionalism until something real actually happens that isn't professional, that isn't, preordained, and it can't be actualized properly because of the professionalism and the relationships. And I love it. I love Matt and Mara. It's like an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half movie about people walking and talking and being like university lecturers, and I love it. Big stamp of approval. This probably should have. No, I watched too much Kino, so it couldn't go any higher. But I fucking love this movie. In terms of like my enjoyment, is like this is probably my favorite movie I've seen all year through like my personal love for the movie. But if I'm talking about like. I mean that in the sense of like I love this movie, but like I can't do anything more than love it. So Matt and Mara goes at number 4. Number 3. Is this our first? Yeah. So number 3 was gonna be Seventh Continent, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. But I've already seen it, and I think I've already spoken about it briefly. But yeah, Seventh Continent is great. Give that a watch. That's another Haneke. We're going to do Synecdoche, New York. This movie is really funny because I had always had this on my radar forever. And I knew that when I watched this movie, I was going to really love it. Just something about it was going to speak to me. Just because, it's Synecdoche, New York. And this has always been this sort of white whale for me, was to watch Synecdoche, New York. I felt the same way about All About Lily Show, and I was completely right. The second I watched All About Lily Show, it changed my world. Synecdoche, New York didn't change my world. It left me with this weird empty feeling to start with, and the empty feeling just kept kind of growing and growing and growing and growing. Like it was like a cancer or something. It was like this emptiness was just everything was falling into this weird singularity that the movie had caused. And as I started thinking more and more about it, I realized that it was like a delayed reaction. It's not what I expected it to be, actually. I was expecting something else. But I was expecting it to maybe be more fantastical, but the fact that it is so focused on Philip Seymour Hoffman's character, his name's like Neetard. I don't want to say anything, but it's like Cotard, yeah. Cotard, yeah, this director, death of a salesman, the whole it's so obvious, when Hazel, she buys that house that's on fire, and I thought it was we're seeing into a character's dream, this is crazy, but then you find out that her house is actually just always constantly on fire, and Kaufman is just this surrealist, mastermind. Yeah. That sort of gave me a chuckle when she said that the ending is built into the beginning. And I heard some people talk about that as when she said that, and then in the next scene she dies of smoke inhalation. Everyone kind of laughed, but I don't think that's the payoff to that line. The ending is built into the beginning. That's like a spoiler. I mean, well, it's a spoiler, but like by that point in the movie, everything is moving so quickly that it doesn't really register. The thing about this movie is I'd never heard anyone speak about it, and the reason for that is because it sort of defies conversation. It's a movie you feel. It's not a movie you like think about. I would like to think about it a little bit more and like watch it again and try and break down what is happening in here. But like in conversation, it's so hard to discuss because it is just, it's like a web. It's like a spider's web. You couldn't logically discuss a spider's web with someone else who has also seen the same spider's web. You would have to like be there and go through it strand by strand. You couldn't give your gist. You go, oh yeah, the spider web, it's a web, or Synecdoche, New York is a movie, and then it's like explain the structures of the web, and then you sort of like start falling apart because you could never convey the structures of a spider's web through like mere conversational discussion. It's like, oh yeah, it's like one web and then it's connected to another and it's all these like rectangles that vary in size, because that's not a spider. You're dulling the spider web. It's not. That's the image you're creating is so boring, and it's not like representative of what you were discussing, so you can't really do that. And that's why I think Synecdoche, New York, people can't really discuss it, because to discuss it, you're not seeing the forest for the trees, So I really like it as well. I think there's a lot more to understand. I just discussed it then, but we'll keep moving on. All right, so this was my most contested spot for the second film on the list. So we have Citizen Kane, which I removed because it's Citizen Kane. It's good, by the way. Don't give me none of this fucking 2 stars on Letterboxd. My ass. It is probably the best movie ever made. I'm not taking 2 stars on Letterboxd, you fucking heathen. Get back in the cinema. And the other one was Afternoons of Solitude, which I've also seen, which is also one of my favorite movies of all time, about bullfighting. Really visceral movie. Really just all these long shots and the blood and the brutality and the violence. I like it. I've had to try and justify my feelings on bullfights to people who are very emotional, and the thing that I want to say that I can't say is that I like it, because that makes you seem like a crazy person, and I'm doing that now because I thought about why I can't just say that, and because it does make you seem like a crazy person. But sometimes you just have to go, I'm like, listen, this is just some weird thing that I can't reconcile. I just like it. And I know that makes me wrong, but I just, that's just me. And people will probably go you're crazy. If they're cool, they'll go, you're crazy, man. And then you can just go on talking about other things. But I don't know, if they really have that much of a problem with it, you can disagree. Disagreeing is fine. And it's an opinion as well. It's if they banned all bullfighting, I wouldn't I wouldn't protest it. It would probably be for the greater good. But still, it's while it's happening, I'm viewing it vicariously through the film. So it's a tacit endorsement, I suppose, just through my eyes seeing something. It's an energetic mounting force. But I did watch Pacifiction, which is Albert Serra's, the guy who made Afternoons of Solitude, his narrative film, and that's really good. Pacifiction is this slow, hot, passionate. This is a sexy movie. Just everything's so hot, and it's in I think it's in Tahiti, and it's just everything's just so hot, and it's just sweltering, and it's all this political intrigue and the world and the army and the bomb, and yeah, there's just something really enticing about it. That's another movie that you can't really describe. I'm working on a theory at the moment of trying to put this media in like synecdoche and pacification into like a wider classification. I won't get into it now because I haven't thought about it, but maybe you'll see something on my Substack which you should follow, which I've got a proclamation of the dogmatic socialite. I'm gonna, what's the word? I'm gonna plug it here too because I spent a lot of time on it. So the actual number 2 spot is 964 Pinocchio. This movie rocks, man. This movie is punk rock. I love 964 Pinocchio. It is fucking punk rock. It's like a bad acid version of like Power Rangers. It's fucking awesome. There's so much being sick, vomit. This movie is like a fucking like, you know, the your hair being like moved around by an amp, you know. That's what it feels like. I'm here for it, man. I love it. All these movies you can't like really discuss out of context. It's just like there's a sex bot, a sex cyborg who is released because he can't get an erection, and then he has to learn how to become human, and then in doing so, everyone despises him and everyone hates him because he's not using his penis to fuck. He's not using his penis for sexual intercourse. Thus, he is like become a lesser being. I think that maybe that's the subtext. I don't think there's any subtext in this. I think it's just fucking awesome, and that's the whole movie. The head of the evil cyborg organization, he's like a Filthy Frank character. He's like doing all this like crazy weird moves, and he's like very stunted, like it is like a Filthy Frank like a Joji style sketch, which I appreciated. It might have been a point of inspiration, but yeah, that guy's awesome. He's like completely bald, and he's just making all these crazy faces. I'd also had a bowl of cherries too, like that, if I was that rich. So we'll move on to the final film. This is my number 1, Southland Tales. This isn't a movie that's like get back in the cinema if you think it's bad. This is a movie where it's like you need to get out of the cinema and you need to look at life. You need to look at everything around you. You need to look at in the faces of strangers. You need to see in the corpses of dead animals. You need to see what bugs are writhing in that corpse, in the stomach of a dead animal. You need to see what flowers bloom, what fruit rots. You need to see the sun moving through the sky. You need to see the stars dancing above you. You need to feel yourself age. You need to look into your eyes and see the blood vessels and look deep enough until you can see yourself looking back. You need to feel the cold wind on your skin, and not in a sense of discomfort, but a sense of elation for life. Embrace the cold and feel it on your skin and feel your interior temperature drop. That is how you enjoy Southland Tales. That is the only way that you can enjoy Southland Tales, is to love life and to feel life. And then and only then will you understand. That's gonna be my review of Southland Tales. I would like to very quickly update all you lovely people at home about my rate, how many movies I've seen and how many movies I need to see. So, as of the 1st of January 2026, I had to see 200 movies. It is now the 12th of June. So now the 12th of June, and I have seen 75 movies this year. Okay. Now, meaning, as of today, there are 202 days left in the year, which is good. I mean, kind of good. We're almost at exactly the halfway point. However, in my movies per month, right? So when you divide 200 movies by 52 weeks, you get 3.8 movies a week, which is 4 because you can't do a 0.8 of a movie. So we're looking at like an average of 4 movies a week. Now, in my 75 movies, in how many weeks have I? How many weeks? I've done 23 weeks out of 52 weeks. So out of 23 weeks, seeing 75 movies, doing the math of having to see 125 movies in 29 weeks, the average is now, the amount of movies per week is now 4.3. Now you'll notice that's only a 0.5% increase in the amount of movies I need to watch every week. So I did the math here. I had a look what is, so 23 was the elapsed weeks, plus that times by that 0.5 movie addition. And we'll have a look here. I think this is an interesting piece of information. Because you're in this as well, we are only 11.5 movies behind. So once I watch 12 movies, I am in the running once again. That seems like a lot of movies, 12. However, if I watch 5, if I just kind of have a few good weeks and watch a few extra movies every week, I'll be on top of that in no time. I might even be able to get ahead of schedule, but I can't jinx myself here. It's really important that I keep a consistent pace and I keep watching these movies. Going forward, I don't know if I'll do the things every week. Maybe I'll do them every month because the week was just getting too much for me. Obviously, I burnt out. So maybe what we'll do is we'll have like a little interstitial episode at the end of this month. And then we'll keep it moving once a month for the rest of the months of the year. And I'll just like highlight a few good movies I saw. I don't really want to highlight a few bad movies, but because we're all about positivity. But yeah, I mean, my Letterboxd does Fraser Mayo. So if you want to check out my Letterboxd, you can see the bad movies I watch as well. But yeah, no, we're gonna keep it positive. I'll do like a top 5 movies I've seen of the month, and then we'll just kind of keep this format going of looser, giving spotlights to movies, and just trying to have a good time because we're here to have a good time. I don't want to make those videos every week. I talked for 20 minutes about nothing, and I've been gone for 5 months, and now I've made a 40-minute video. Isn't that way better? And I talked about the movies I liked. Maybe not as deep as the other ones. Maybe if anyone's watching, they can leave a comment and just say what they prefer. But maybe I'll try and really push this one because I had that little skit at the beginning, and maybe it's people might be more interested in watching it because there's a skit. But we'll keep it rolling. We'll keep it going. I'm in the new place, by the way. I won't be here for very long. But I've got my vinyl, so it feels like home, right? Anyway, I'll see you all at the end of the month.